Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be studying about Kingdom Protista in detail. Ernst Haeckel created this kingdom for those organisms which do not have tissues. It was believed to evolve around 1600 million years ago. These organisms also were found to have a connecting link between the kingdom Monera and the other three eukaryotic kingdoms such as fungi, plantae, and animalia. We'll look into the detail about the general characteristics of kingdom Protista. They are unicellular or colonial eukaryotic organisms. Most of them are aquatic organisms, many protists are planktons, and some may be parasites. Protists are found of different body shapes. The cell wall, when present, contains cellulose, pellicle, shell, etc., and may be present. The cytoplasm shows a streaming movement. The protoplasm is surrounded with a distinct plasma membrane made up of lipoprotein. The movement of organism is via pseudopodia, flagella or cilia. These are the locomotory organs. Flagella showed a typical protein called as tubulin. The mode of nutrition is photosynthetic, holozoic or parasitic, and some may even show mixotrophic nutrition, as in two types of nutrition found in one organism. For example, photosynthetic and holozoic can be exhibited by one particular organism. The food storage can be in the form of starch, paramylum, glycogen, and fat. The embryo stage is absent in this particular kingdom. The parasitic protist may cause diseases such as malaria, sleeping sickness, etc. The asexual reproduction in this can be found by binary fission, multiple fission, spore formation, cyst formation, etc. The sexual reproduction is believed to be the primitive in protist. It involves meiosis and syngamy. We'll study some of the major examples in kingdom Protista. Let's begin with the first one, that is diatoms. It belongs to the phylum Chrysophyta. These diatoms are mostly aquatic or they are found on the moist terrestrial habitat. They can be even present in the marine water as well. The body is covered with a transparent siliceous shell called as fristule made up of two valves, epitheca and hypotheca. The nucleus is suspended in the central vacuole by means of cytoplasmic strands. The photosynthetic pigments present in these are chlorophyll A, C, beta-carotene, fucosanthin. The storage of food is in the form of oils and leucosin. The volatile globules are also present in these diatoms, and these volatile globules are proteinaceous in nature. The mode of reproduction is by binary fission. That means each daughter cell retains one valve of the parent as the epitheca and secretes a new hypotheca by itself. The sexual reproduction varies from isogamy to oogamy, and meiosis is found to be gametic. What is the importance of diatoms? Diatoms are very important photosynthesizers. A 60-ton blue whale may have 2 tons of phytoplankton in the gut, which is mostly diatoms. These can be silicon fistules form of diatomaceous earth. These pile up in the bottom of water reservoirs and form big heaps of diatomite. The next example is dinoflagellates. This is the diagrammatic representation of how a dinoflagellate looks like, the ventral view and the dorsal view of dinoflagellate. Dinoflagellate belongs to the phylum Pyrophyta. It is unicellular, motile, and it is having a biflagellate. It can vary from golden to brown photosynthetic protist. The nutrition is mostly either holophytic or photosynthetic. The storage of food is in the form of starch, and in some it can be seen in oils. The osmoregulatory organelle is pusule. It is present near the base of the flagella. It contains a very prominent nucleus. The chlorophyll are A, C, carotene and xanthophylls. Asexual reproduction is by denomitosis, spores and cysts. The sexual reproduction is by isogamous and anisogamous. The life cycle is specifically zygotic meiosis. Let's study about the structure of dinoflagellates in detail. Moving on to the structure, it's covered by a rigid coat that is theca or lorica consisting of cellulose or pectin. The theca contains two grooves, the longitudinal groove and the circular groove. The flagella is heteroconcave, means it has one transverse flagellum and the other longitudinal flagellum. The movement of this organism is known as whirling whips, as in, due to the presence of two flagella at right angles to each other, the dinoflagellates show a peculiar spinning of movement. Did you know why this phenomenon occurs? The red sea color or the red tides. It is because of a specific dinoflagellate, that is Gonulox. It produces the red pigment, and hence in that particular tide or in that particular sea area the water becomes reddish in color. When it is in large amount, it produces a toxin called as saxitoxin, and it may be harmful to some of the marine organisms. Moving on to the next example we'll be studying, that is euglenoids. Now euglenoids, this is the diagrammatic representation, and that is on the right side we can see the microscopic vision of how the euglenoid looks like. Euglenoids are found to have a connecting link between plants and animals. These are unicellular flagellate of fresh and found in fresh water. These do not have any cell wall. These are covered with thin periplast or layer called as pellicle. The pellicle has oblique but parallel stripes called as myoneins. It shows orange color to red eye spot and that contains astaxanthin. Their cellular movement is called metaboly because of the creeping movements by expansion and contraction of their body. The nutrition is found here is mixotrophic. That means it shows holophytic and saprobic type of nutrition. The storage here is paramylum bodies, which is a form of carbohydrate, and multiplication by longitudinal binary fission. During unfavorable conditions, it multiplies by longitudinal binary fission, and it can also enter into the unfavorable period as such as forming a cyst. The examples of this are Euglena and Estacia. The next example is slime molds. These are also commonly called as protist fungi. These do not have any chlorophyll in them. Usually they are surrounded by a plasma membrane. However, the spores show cellulose cell wall. Asexual and sexual reproduction of this slime molds are observed. There are two types of slime molds which we will study in detail, that is acellular slime mold and cellular slime mold. Let's first study about the acellular slime mold. These are also commonly called as plasmodial slime molds. It is because these are free-living, multinucleate, and they are having a naked diploid protoplasmic mass called as plasmodia. This plasmodium forms sporangia. Sporangia are fruiting bodies and each gives rise to a new stalk. The network of these threads are called as capillitium. The spores are formed by the process of meiosis. The sporangia is like a bag-like structure in which the spores are formed by multiplication, that is by meiosis. Many multiple spores are formed. The sexual reproduction is by isogamous. The common examples under acellular slime molds are Pisarum and Dictydium. The next one will be studying about cellular slime molds. These have absence of flagellated cells in their life cycle. Formation of pseudoplasmodium is observed. Naked sporangia. Cellulose walls are present around the spores. The sexual reproduction is anisogamous, which is different from acellular slime molds. The examples of this cellular slime molds are Protostelium and Dictyostelium. Thank you guys. If you like my video, do like, share and subscribe to my channel Agent Biology.